We do have one addition to our speakers today, and that is Richard Mack, who is running for U.S. Congress.
Well, thank you. I just been on a whirlwind tour. I wanted to be here with you ladies so bad. There's nobody that came farther than I did. Last evening at 7 o'clock I was speaking to like 6 or 7 different local legislators in a meeting. What's that?
In Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yes. And I drove then to get to the airport last night to Chicago, flew out this morning at 5 o'clock, got to San Antonio, drove over here, and hi. So, yes, I'm running against Lamar Smith in District 21. Now, there's some rumors going around about me. And some of his people have been spreading them, and some of them are true. Okay? They'll tell you I was a Democrat once. I was. What I never was a liberal or a moderate. Okay? And there's a big difference. Now, my county, I'm from Arizona, and I was Arizonan by birth, and I'm Texan by choice. And I live in Kerrville. My son lives in Kerrville. I live in Fredericksburg. My wife and I came out here about a year ago, fell in love with the place, and we moved here. I'm sorry I was late. Okay? My record kind of speaks for itself. Yes, I was a Democrat in Graham County, Arizona. It was 5-1 Democrat there. You had to be a Democrat to run for anything. All the races were decided in the Democrat primary. So I decided I wanted to be sheriff. And they said, well, you're going to have to be a Democrat. Okay, I went as a Democrat. I was the most conservative Democrat in the history of America. And there's one thing my opponent won't tell you that I did while I was a Democrat. I was the first sheriff in United States history to sue the federal government and win a case at the United States Supreme Court on the issue of leave us alone, state sovereignty and states' rights. And that's why I love Texas. Also, my opponent will tout that he's endorsed by the NRA. Okay, I got an NRA story for you. When I sued the federal government, the NRA helped us with this case. I was inducted to the NRA Hall of Fame. I was Law Enforcement Officer of the Year for the NRA, and I'm the only person in history to get the highest public official honor from the NRA, Gun Owners of America, and the Second Amendment Foundation. How's that? And let's remember, all that while I was a Democrat. And then in 1996, Pat Buchanan got attention, got word about what I was doing, and he asked me to be his campaign manager for the state of Arizona. He was a Republican. He never asked me what party I was, didn't really care. He knew I was a constitutional conservative. Right now, some things are going on in Washington where you really can't tell who's the Democrat and who's the Republican sometimes. You won't have to worry about that with me. If you read a couple of newspaper articles recently, Lamar Smith has done something that I think is highly improper. He did inside trading. It's in the newspaper. Inside trading. He helped a company get a contract, and before the contract was made official, he purchased the stock in that company. He called it a coincidence. All 4 or 5 times. Yeah. Folks, we have got to clean up Washington, D.C. If you want the same old tax, borrow, and spend, we literally borrow money right now from communist Red China. We owe them over $1 trillion, and we take that money and give it to Egypt and other third world countries in foreign aid, and we continue to do that and continue to increase. We owe all that money to Red China, and they're glad to give it, and that ought to make you very suspicious. And somebody in Washington, D.C. needs to wake up to that. If you want to stop that, vote for Richard Mack, District 21.